Sasha. Sasha. Quit licking your paw, crazy pants. Stop licking your paw. I can see you in the camera. Yeah, alright. Hey, this is Megan in the restricted section. Today I'm going to be doing my TBR for the rest of 2016, which is a little scary because I guess it's already into August, so this year is flying by. I actually changed my reading goal. I had set my reading goal for the year at 35 books, and I was able to accomplish that last month, and so I moved it up to 50. So I have a few more books to read this year to hit that, which I think I can totally do. And I have some books that I know I'm going to be reading because I'm doing the Read Harder challenge, and so I have some books that I had picked out to accomplish some of those challenges. So here we go. The first one that I need to finish this year is Watership Down by Richard Adams. I am about 133 pages into this, and it's really good so far. This is a classic. I don't feel like I really need to give much of a synopsis for this one, but yeah, it's a really good book, but it's just not super like compelling. It's not like a big page turner really, at least not at this point. So it's been kind of hard for me to be motivated to read it. It's taken me a while. So yeah, I definitely want to get this finished by the end of 2016. The next one would be, I just started reading this and so I want to finish it, The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. I've only read one other book by Margaret Atwood, and that was The Handmaid's Tale, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome, and so when we went to the Friends of the Library sale, I bought a couple more of Margaret Atwood's books, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I just started this, so I'm not very far into it, but this book is kind of it's a book within a book. It's a story of, it starts out with this woman whose sister dies. She drives her car off a cliff. That's not a spoiler because it says so right here on the back. But then it goes into, they find a novel that her sister had written before she died, and it goes into the story of like two lovers who are meeting in secret, and he's telling her this sci-fi story when they meet. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think this is going to be fantastic, and I'm really excited about it, so I definitely want to finish this pretty soon. Next up, this has been on my TBR for a while, and I have talked a few times about how it is a little bit intimidating, just because it's pretty detail heavy, and I'm afraid that my ADHD is going to kick in and just, you know, not focus on it, but I'm really excited to read it. This is Wizard, The Life and Times of Nikola Tesla, Biography of a Genius by Mark Cypher. I love Nikola Tesla. I think he was brilliant and very underappreciated and underrecognized, and so I'm really excited to read this book. I just need to get on it. I started it and made it just a little bit of the way in it, and then I got distracted and started a different book or something. So I'm really excited about this one, and this will fulfill my Read Harder challenge to read a biography. So pretty stoked about that. The rest of these books I don't have physical copies for or copies of them at all. They're either on my Kindle or I don't have them. Alright, so the next one is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, which I probably did not pronounce correctly. But that is a book that is set in the Middle East. I've heard really, really awesome things about this book. I think most people really loved it. So this is a book about a rich little boy who befriends a poor little boy, from what I understand. And it takes place in Afghanistan. So I've heard that it's pretty heartbreaking. I guess I'll find out. But I'm really looking forward to reading that one because, like I said, it seems like a lot of people really loved it. So I'm looking forward to that. The next one on here is Dawn by Octavia Butler. This will accomplish my Read Harder challenge to read the first book in a series by a person of color. And Sue actually recommended this book to me. She hasn't read it yet, but she has read other stuff by Octavia Butler and loved it. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that. So this is the first book of the Exogenesis series. And basically it says that an atomic, I'm just reading the synopsis from Goodreads right now. It says that an atomic fire consumes Earth, and Lilith awakens hundreds of years later in an alien spacecraft, and I guess these aliens showed up just in time to save human beings from extinction. So it sounds like it is right up my alley, and I've heard excellent things about Octavia Butler and her writing. I've heard she's fantastic. Plus Sue recommended her to me, and Sue usually gives me really awesome recommendations, so super stoked about that. The next one is Heat by Bill Buford, and this accomplishes my Read Harder challenge to read a food memoir. I guess Bill Buford got the opportunity to train in Mario Batali's kitchen, and it's kind of his experience doing that. I don't know, I guess I've never really read a food memoir, so this will be an interesting experience, and I think that was kind of the point of the Read Harder challenge, was to read things that you wouldn't normally read. Next is She's Not There, A Life in Two Genders by Jennifer Finney Boylan, and this will accomplish my challenge to read a book by or about a person who identifies as transgender. So the the description is just, it's pretty general. It's about a person changing genders. So it says, the provocative bestseller She's Not There is the winning, utterly surprising story of a person changing genders. By turns hilarious and deeply moving, Jennifer Finney Boylan explores the territory that lies between men and women. Etc., etc. So I thought that sounded super fascinating. I don't know that I've read a book yet by a person who was changing genders or going through that experience at all, so I think that'll be a good read. Next one is Smaller and Smaller Circles by F.H. Batacan? I don't know, I'm sorry. That was just bad. And that was a book by an author that's from Southeast Asia, because I believe the author is from the Philippines, if I remember correctly. This book is a detective novel. It's supposed to be very fast-paced. It's got a Jesuit priest who is also a forensic anthropologist in it. And it's just sounded pretty interesting. This one is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I haven't read anything by Neil Gaiman, but I keep hearing awesome things about him, so that is my the book I'm going to read for my Read a Middle Grade Novel challenge. I've heard pretty good things about it, and I've heard great things about Neil Gaiman, so I'm going to check that out. I have a couple of other books by him on my TBR as well. So we'll see how I feel about Coraline, and we'll go from there. So the next one is not for my Read Harder challenge. It's The Fireman by Joe Hill. I read about it before it was released and thought it sounded interesting. And so it's been released now for a little bit, and I just haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And that is a novel about like a pandemic of spontaneous combustion. So, I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I'm on board. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to checking that out. And then the last book on my For Sure TBR, this is like I'm 90% certain I'm going to read these books TBR, but I'm going to read other ones on top of this as well. But the last one on my like For Sure TBR is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I really want to read that. I have not picked up a copy yet. I hear it's been getting really mixed reviews from people, so that makes me even more excited to read it. I think it looks awesome, and I'm excited about it. So, yeah, I don't feel like I need to explain what that's about either, because I feel like everyone pretty much knows. But so those are my TBR for the rest of this year books. Hopefully I will get all of those read, and hopefully I will complete my Read Harder challenge. That was just a really cool thing that Book Riot does, and I was really excited to kind of stumble upon that. So I'm going to link that down below. I know it's kind of late in the year, but I mean, if you guys have been reading all year, surely you can find books that will accomplish some of these challenges, or if you want to be really ambitious and just start it now, that'd be cool. So I'll link that down below if you guys want to check that out. Last thing that I wanted to mention before I go is Sue and I, our friend Finus, he has a Kickstarter campaign for a comic book that he's writing with Chris Burgess, and the art is done by Christopher Harris, and his name is Finus Massey. So this comic book is called Charlie, and it takes place in kind of a future America where a war has taken place between the humans and these aliens called the Toroks, and that has left the western part of the United States in ruin. So Charlie is the hero, and he's a robot, and he patrols the Toroks zone, I guess. So it's a futuristic sci-fi western comic, which I think sounds super awesome. But I've seen some of the artwork for this. It looks incredible. I think the story sounds super awesome. These guys seem really, really passionate about making this comic book happen, and I would love to see it happen because I really want to read it. So it looks like, I'm looking at their Kickstarter campaign right now, and it looks like they have a little bit less than $400 to go to make this happen. They've got about 14 days left to go in their Kickstarter campaign. So if you guys would like to read this, I definitely want to read this. So if you agree with me and you want to read it too, then you should go pledge to their campaign. They have different options for how much that you can pledge. You can pledge as little as $1. If that's all you can do, then that, I mean, every little bit helps. And then if you pledge $5 or more, you'll get a digital copy of Charlie. And if you pledge $10 or more, you will get a physical copy of Charlie signed by the creators, and you'll also get the digital copy. So I think that sounds awesome. I would love to see this happen. So if you guys would also love to see it happen, if you want to read this too, please go pledge to their campaign. It looks so cool. So that is it for me today. Thank you guys for watching, and if you read any of the books on my TBR, I would love to know what you thought about them. So feel free to comment below and let me know what you think. Or if you decide that you want to do the Read Harder Challenge, or if you have been doing the Read Harder Challenge, I would love to know how you've been doing. So as per usual, there will be links below where you can find Sue and I elsewhere on social media. And if you're not already subscribed to us, maybe you should do it. But yeah, so that's it for me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!